Here at Tomorrow Biostasis, we are interested in all things tomorrow. Like, how will our world look 100 years from now? Will we have colonized Mars? Will our brains reside in a common SSD? Will you have checked out our website for a free consultation about cryonics? Link is in the description below. Today, we are going to talk about robotic avatars, mind uploading, and how AI technology might be able to help us achieve all of that. So let's start from the beginning. AI is probably the most used buzzword in tech. From sci-fi novels to all the major newspapers, everyone wants in on the action, and so do we. When even non-tech companies like Aldi or Deutsche Bahn start to look into this technology, you know that things are about to get serious. With a global market size estimated at around $51 billion and a projection to reach $641 billion by 2028, artificial intelligence might become one of the largest fields in the tech space. But what exactly is it? It all starts with something called machine learning, the idea that we can write a program and then it will learn by itself through a very human process of trial and error. Basically, failing over and over again until they get it right. But, unlike us, they never get frustrated. There are multiple clever processes employed to get the best results out of machine learning, such as regression, clustering, or reinforcement learning, to name just a few. But why do we even need such programs? Why can't we just write the code ourselves and tell it what we want? Why do we need to spend hours and hours training AIs? Not to mention the considerable amount of money needed to buy the necessary equipment. Well, the reason is as simple as it might be disappointing. The machines are better than us, at least in some aspects. In 2016, DeepMind's AI program AlphaGo played a 5-game match against the then world champion Lee Sedol, a feat that was considered impossible just 5 years prior. In 2017, they repeated a similar experiment with their new and improved AI AlphaZero, defeating the strongest human-programmed chess engine ever created, Stockfish, with a dominant 28 wins and 0 losses. But it's not just fun and games, pun intended. Nowadays, DeepMind is putting their general-purpose algorithm to work on topics too difficult for humans to properly grasp, such as protein folding, and handling the insanely complicated processes to control nuclear fusion. And this brings us to our next topic, robotic avatars. Meet Roboy. Look at him, so cute and smiley. He was adopted in 2013 by Raphael Hostetler, a robotic researcher and enthusiast. Hostetler brought Roboy from Zurich, where it was first constructed, to München, where he and his team reworked it, adding new components and a way to control it remotely with a VR headset. Their goal is to create the first ever robotic avatar for humans, complete with muscles, joints, and big googly eyes. More on that later. Roboy may be one of the most human-looking machines to date, but it's still far from perfect. Running and even walking are still milestones waiting to be reached. According to Hostetler, however, we could have robots with a physical structure as good as ours by 2050. But wait, there's more. The Roboys of the future might be able to do much more than simply act as our caretakers and helpers. They could literally be us. Imagine if we could take advantage of the extreme flexibility of robots, both in terms of design and choice of materials, and make their bodies ours. We could safely do all sorts of things that are now extremely dangerous, like colonize hostile planets, explore the center of active volcanoes, or send our avatars to our high school reunions. Ugh. Having a body that's resistant and, most importantly, easily repairable is certainly a step in the right direction. However, there's a problem. To control these cybernetic limbs, we also need a mind, preferably ours. Introducing mind uploading. Uploading our brain to some sort of digital space has long been a dream for some. If humans succeeded to do that, We could truly be invincible. So what's stopping us? Can we not just scan our brains, upload it somewhere, and be off to the races? Well, not so fast. Uploading our minds to a computer sounds fairly simple, at least in theory. In practice, however, we are still extremely far from achieving anything like that. The problem comes from the fact that our brains are very, very, very complex. Consisting of dozens of billions of neurons, they are, for the most part, still a mystery. We have a really good understanding of how some of the simpler processes work, but we don't know enough to accurately model every process. Then there's the problem of data loss, a process that inevitably occurs every time we transfer something. With billions of data points needing to be copied exactly as they are, chances of data loss and corruption are as high as they can be. And by the way, would all of those ones and zeros on a server really be you? Without these answers, our dreams of digitizing our minds will never come to fruition. But there's still hope. Even though this task is incredibly challenging, at least for humans, it might not be for other entities. AIs are incredibly good at solving a certain class of problems, especially if the variables are finite and complexity is the biggest challenge. It is possible then that an AI could help us scan and decode our brains faster and better than we humans ever could. That just might be the case, and it certainly looks like our best bet if we ever want to see ourselves navigate the internet with the blink of a thought. In the meantime, though, we believe that our best attempt at extending our life lies in preserving our brains and bodies as they are, for as long as humanly possible. Here's where cryonics comes into play. Using extremely low temperatures and a process known as vitrification, cryonics companies can preserve humans for hundreds, possibly thousands of years. Extending our lives and keeping our identities intact are the main goals. After millions of years of evolution, not only do we have one of the most complex brains in nature and bodies capable of achieving extraordinary athletic feats, we do all that by just eating and drinking water. Brilliant. Whether we realize it or not, we might easily already be the best robots ever invented. Don't forget to check out our website at tomorrowbiostasis.com and other videos on this channel if you are curious about cryonics. Stay safe and see you tomorrow.